Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Ty. Why did I pause like that? I don't know. But what's up, y'all? This is Ty. I am here to review Season 4, Episode 8 of Raising Kanan. That is Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. And this episode is titled Street Struck. Now, before I get into this review, I got to give a shout out to my lovely subscribers. Shout outs to Kryptonian Black, P. Bronson, Johnson Go Hustle, The R.C. Kroger, Tayon's World, June BLC, Simply Be Yourself 100, and Old Boogie Baby and Lamont Simpson. Now, Old Boogie Baby has a channel. So check out his channel. And Lamont Simpson has a channel, so check out his channel. Go subscribe, go run their views up, because we want to keep all these channels doing what? Going and growing. Now, with that being said, let me get right down to this review. I know I'm mad late with this. I do apologize. I apologize. So let's kick it off with Marvin. Am I the only one that was surprised by Marvin taking down Quan? I didn't see that coming, but I kind of thought it was going to happen, because once we see Marvin robbing Quan and got all of them tied up, whatever, and they're having this conversation, and Quan was like, "You Rock's brother." I said, "Oh, he gonna have to take him down now, because he knows who he is." And that's what he did. He took him down, and I was like, okay, this is very interesting right here. This is gonna be a problem, especially a problem for Unique. Now, we saw Unique is already this, since he's been back this season, strong and wrong, angry, wanting revenge. So when he finds this situation out, he is pissed off, and he's automatically believing that Rock has something to do with it. Now, this time he's actually right, because this is one of their moves, whatever. He ends up going to, before I go into that, he was so pissed off, whatever, and angry about this situation. And then we're all looking for, what's his name? Little OC, looking for OC, little OC. And OC's afraid, because he's like, listen, Kanan is on to me. Y'all got to get me out of here. I need a midnight train ticket to Georgia, or a midnight plane to something. I need to get out of here. I need to get out of New York. And so he's over there with Unique's people, and they're like, you just gotta wait for Unique. And then when Unique gets there, and Unique hears Unique is already pissed off, got a chip on his shoulder, but when he hears the news that Quan has been killed, that's got him already with an attitude and pissed off. So he kills OC. OC's like, I gotta go. You wanna go? Killed OC. OC's body is found in a dumpster. This is crazy. Meanwhile, Kanan is still looking for OC. Nobody can seem to find OC. And we see a scene where Jukebox goes looking for OC. She goes to the family house. She said, Kanan, let me go. She goes to the family house, OC's family house, to look for OC. And she meets OC's brother, who is a little pervert, and he tries to get a little... Basically tried to assault and rape Jukebox, but she handled him. She handled him, and deservedly so, and pulled out her gun, and that was that. Now back to Unique. Unique is so pissed off and angry. He goes to Phil Russo, and he says to Russo, listen, we got to strike back. Russo says, nah, kid, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Run me my money. Where's my money? So now Unique then goes to Pop and Snap and try to negotiate a deal with that situation. And I was like, okay, very, very interesting. Very interesting. This was a good episode. I say this in every review about this show. This was a good episode. So I'm like, it's a lot going on here. It's definitely a lot going on. Now, Marvin has another issue. Marvin has the issue of his situation with Early. He had Early taking care of some business, this little side business with Stefano. And then when he had a conversation with Early mentioned, he said, Early, whatever happened with that guy that was giving you problems? And Early said, we handled him. Basically saying they killed him. Now, here's the problem. That was one of Stefano's people. You wasn't supposed to kill him. So now this is more problems. And it's like, yo, this is serious problems here. What's going on? And so Marvin has to handle this again. And, she's like, even Rock tell him, listen, you got to get this stuff together. What's going on? You got these little side businesses going on. this could be an issue for us. And even when Marvin has a conversation with Stefano in this episode, Stefano's asking him, do he know anything about what went on in Howard Beach? And he's like, nah, I don't know anything about that. It was very clear. Stefano clearly made a threat about this situation. So naturally, Marvin has to handle this. And how does he handle this? He handles this by killing off Early's, I believe that was his cousin, Londell, because Early had mentioned that his cousin was involved in this, and Londell is one who talked too much. That's how he got arrested in the first place. He yaps too much. So we see a scene where, they're all at Early's place, and Londell goes out to use the bathroom outside, and Marvin takes care of him. So I said, okay, that was something. Then we have, what's his name? Is it Detective Garcia? Is that his name? I think that's his name. Y'all will correct me in the comments. But we have Detective Garcia trying to build a case. We see him going to Unique and questioning Unique. He's strong and wrong. He's thinking that Unique killed his own brother and killed Detective Howard, and he was fishing around with him, trying to get some information from him. Unique is like, dude, you're a clown. Get up out of here. Get out of my face. And then we see Detective Garcia also questioning Jukebox and getting nowhere. He's on the trail, but he's on the trail thinking that Unique has something to do with this killing Ronnie and Detective Howard. So his things are off too. But I said I like that there's so many twists and so many things going on here. Speaking of strong and wrong, we got to bring up my boy Kanan, who in this episode also tells Jukebox that he feels that his mother was involved in Famous's death. And Jukebox is like, I don't think your mother's involved in that. I don't see that or whatever. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, when he had that same conversation with his girlfriend, Crystal, she made the same sentiments like, Rock would be involved. But now, Kanan also goes to Pops and Snap. I love their name. And he's asking them. And that's where we learn that it was Pops and Snap who had Famous killed because they thought he might talk too much and say something. And we see that they have cops connected to them, who you see them chastising them like, yo, this guy, Kanan, is coming to us, asking us questions. Y'all supposed to make this clean. What's going on? This can't be connected to us. I said, wow. Meanwhile, Kanan is thinking his mother has something to do with this. But in actuality, it's not his mother. It is Pops and Snaps, the people that he's in business with. This is a dirty business. This street life, this stuff, you can't trust nobody. Everybody's just taking each other out. That's what I love about this series. You never know. I'm like, okay. But I had a feeling. I was like, I don't think that Rock would have killed Famous. I don't think she would have killed him. I just didn't see that, her doing that. I just couldn't see her doing that for some reason. So that was that. We also saw Rock and Marvin have a conversation with Hafiz. Is that how you Hafiz? And that business is about to get rolling. Things are looking good with that. Things are going good with that situation. Then it was something that pissed me off, and this was B-Rilla. B-Rilla pissed me off because how stupid were you to even come up with this idea in the first place to rob the executive at your record label, and that went haywire. But now he has these two dudes, Julius and Kenyatta, stepping to him saying, we screwed it up the first time, but now we're going to come back for round 2 and try it again. And he tries to talk sense into them. B-Rilla tries to tell him, he says, listen, he's on to us now. The money's not there. He's moved. We can't do it. He made up some lie like, oh, the money's not there. It doesn't make sense. We can't go back. And they pretty much threaten him and tell him, oh no, we going back and you coming with us, and you don't have a choice. So all of this got him a little shook up and frightened. And then there's a studio session where B-Rilla's in the studio, and he keeps messing up his rhymes or whatever. He's rattled. He seems rattled, and Lulu notices this. And then he finally tells Lulu, listen, I messed up. I tried to rob homeboy. That failed, but they want to go back again. So now he's gotten Lulu involved. Lulu goes over to the bookstore to speak to the Righteous Brothers, And that does not go well. And they think that Lulu's soft, and they're like, be about your way. You ain't about that no more, Music Man. This dude is gonna do what we told him to do. We gonna rob him. We gonna try again. And there's nothing you can do about this. Now how this works, now this is triggering them to say, we gonna take out both of them. Because, you don't tell us what to do. And I was like, here we go. And so basically, they're sitting in their car. They watched Kenyatta and Julius. They're watching B Rilla and Lulu go into the studio or whatever. And they're just sitting out like a stakeout, just waiting, so they can make their move. Then they see B Rilla come out and they try to make their move. And then they done brought the killer up out of Lulu again. Lulu comes out there and handles both of them. See? Y'all done awakened the beast. And so I was like, wow, that was good. So now, I guess this is going to strengthen the relationship between B Rilla and Lulu. Maybe, because now it's like, listen, I just saved you. So, very good stuff right here. Really good stuff. I'm still stuck on the fact that Pops and Snap took out Famous. That right there is crazy to me. That right there. And then we also saw in this episode, I forget the young lady's name, the woman that Lulu's having this relationship with. I don't really care for that storyline. I don't think it's needed, but I guess they're giving us extra story. We don't need that. I need to stay focused on the action between all of the drug dealers and all that drama. I don't really need this love story with him and this girl. What is her name? I forgot, but I think I don't know. But we don't really need her story. I really don't care for that backstory with them at all, to be honest. I really don't care. But she's telling them they were having a conversation and, all of that, dealing with the death. I didn't really care for that storyline. What else happened in this episode? We also saw, I thought this was pretty good. Kanan's girlfriend is trying to leave town. Well, before she leaves town, because Kanan told her, listen, the streets is hot, things are dangerous, especially when he finds out that OC's actually been killed. He's like, you gotta go. People dropping dead. You gotta go leave town. Get on up out of town. But before she goes to leave town, she goes to speak to Rock. And she tells Rock, she says, listen, I need you to speak to your son, this, that, and the third. And Rock basically says, it's but so much I can do. And homegirl pretty much checked Rock. She was like, what you can do, that's a lame excuse. You should, she basically told her, get your stuff together and stop being so trifling and hear him out. And you're not always right. It's basically what she was telling Rock, which kind of made Rock open her eyes a little bit. She's like, check yourself and go check on your son. That's what you need to do. Now, we see homegirl trying to, this is Kanan's girlfriend, getting on the bus to leave wherever she's going. And those two dirty police officers who are connected to Pops and Snap take her off the bus. Because remember, Pops and Snap are upset because they're like, y'all messed this up. We killed Famous. Y'all supposed to do this clean. This is supposed to be a clean thing, an easy thing. Y'all messed this up. Y'all need to fix this. So now they've taken her, and God only knows what they're going to do because they're crooked. What are they going to do? They're trying to figure out what she knows or what she, what they think they know what's going on in the streets to try to cover up what they did to Famous. So overall, I thought this was another solid episode, another great episode. The ball is moving on this show. You know how they do. They keep us guessing. I really enjoyed this. Totally enjoyed this, and I can't wait to see what the next moves are going to be and when all this comes to a head. And someone has said to me, they was like, do you think that Unique will find out that Rock was pregnant with his child? You think he will find that out? I was like, that's interesting. I'm wondering how all of this is going to collide. What do we have, like 2 episodes left? So I'm wondering how this is all going to collide. But anyway, I thought it was a solid episode as usual. This has been a solid season. This show it's always good. That's all I have for now. Thank you for watching. Please hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. and I will see you all in the next video.